Hey, this is William from primerpodcast.com. Today I'm going to show you my painting box. I take this to every painting job I have. Obviously, it can't hold every single thing that I need, but it gets me through just about every little basic job, and it saves me time from going to the shop or going to the truck, and time is money. So, this is your basic DeWalt T-stack. I really like these. They're sturdy enough. The problem with this box is I made it too tall. I can't stack anything on top of it, but I can put this one on top of another one, roll it away, makes it easy, without getting too many stacked up high. Now all I did was figure out what I use on a regular basis and built a few trays to go around it. So let me show you the first one. This is my brush box. Now, all it is a plywood box, nothing fancy. I took a little bit of all thread and a wing nut so that they can hang without damaging the bristles. And these are not my everyday brushes. These are my special brushes. The one and a half, the one I use for oil base, a little shorty, and a couple larger sash brushes, for when I need it. This is my everyday. It's not in here because I use it every day. Also made sure that I had enough room for a couple spare rollers. Again, saves you a trip to the shop. To go along with my everyday brush, which, pro tip, put a little hook on here. You can hang it off your paint can, your 5-gallon bucket, whatever you're working out of. You always have a place to hang it. But then I also keep plastic container for washing brushes, a good comb, and a good brush. I normally keep some dish soap in here, in a container that fits. I think that got left at work or at the last job. A couple key things. Always need a couple towels. Now these are spares. If I'm going to do a big job, that's part of one of the things that I'll load up along with like a 2-step and the drop cloths. But these are extra emergency. Now for prepping, you're going to need some basic stuff. This isn't my everyday stuff. This stays in my painting thing. So if I forget something, these are all basically extra. I have duplicates in my everyday carry bag. But if I need something, I need some, and again, it's here. Little spray can trigger, face mask. Your basic 4-in-1, 5-in-1, 6-in-1 screwdriver. I personally hate these things, but it's versatile. In a pinch, it gets you through. Always need painter's tool, pair of channel locks. I like the ones with the curved insides. They're meant for pipe and stuff, but I find for pulling nails or screws or something like that, it gives me a little bit extra reach. It's my own personal preference, but pair of pliers is always good. A couple of putty knives. A scraper. Basic knives for filling in holes. You're going to need a small screwdriver. A lot of times for like in the bathroom, the towel racks and hangers, they got a little set screw in there. Comes in handy. Gotta have a utility knife, a decent flashlight. This is a little cheapy, but again, this is backup. This is spare. This is in a pinch. Pens and pencils, something to write with. There's usually cardboard floating around. Little artist brush. Again, I never use these things, but they're good to have. More prep stuff, because that is the key to a good paint job. You're gonna need yourself some sandpaper, for hitting the walls. Obviously, a decent caulk gun. Get the kind that you like. Get the one that you're familiar with. These, they're handy, but for your basic caulk, you don't need it. Just cut the tip and you're good to go. Extra one. Can of primer. It saves time. It dries really quick. This is just for interior, but it saves opening up another can and washing another brush. Just for a little bit of spot priming. That after you do your quick little patches, by the time that you're set up, to roll out your walls or whatever, this is going to be dry and you're ready to go. But sometimes it does take 2 coats. It depends on the quality of your paint. With the sandpaper, a couple sanding blocks, different grits, it comes in handy. Got to have some tape. I generally use the blue tape. I like the whiter stuff. I use it more often, but a little bit thinner is always good. Spend the extra money. Get something good. I prefer the 3M. That's my personal preference. And to be honest, I haven't tried any of the other specialty stuff. This is the stuff I've been using for years. I'm used to it. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's why it's in here. This is my box. I always keep an extra bandana. Good for your head. Painting, a little extra protection if it's hot out. You wrap it around. Multiple uses. Throw it in your back pocket while you're working. Same thing. Like with your towel, put your towel up in your front pocket, because when you're painting and stuff and you got some boogers, where do you put it? On your pants? Or hey, right there, you got a towel. Keep a little bit of joint compound for patching holes. Now, this is not for a big job. This is my little backup, little pinholes. Saves me carrying a 5 gallons or 1 gallon can, and when I'm done, I reload this. One less thing to carry, one less thing to walk to the shop for. I also like to keep another container with just a little bit of 20-minute plaster for those bigger patches. 20 minutes, time saver. If you need to make set up faster, use hot water, but be careful because it will set up a lot faster. It's a whole chemical thing. Got to have a stir stick. This one's new. Usually, I tend to usually have some scrap wood around or something that I'll use to mix around, but it's good to have a spare, as long with a paint can mixer. Sometimes things don't get shaken up. Boom, you've got it with you. This box isn't big enough for a 5-gallon one. That's something you take along with you when you bring your 5 gallons. And typically on a job site, you've got your cordless drill. Cordless is fine for something like this. It's better than shaking it. You can get the stuff off the bottom, or you can always use it as your stirrer. Another simple plywood box. This is where I keep some artist brushes, some acid brushes, small stuff. Hand sander goes with the sandpaper, as well as another little sanding block. It's small, it fits. Always make sure I've got the rollers and stuff. Like when I'm loading up the paint, try to grab a new roller and things like that. But in a pinch, hey, I got room. Bring a couple rollers. I tend to use 3/8 snap more often than not. But when I've got something else, take some of that tape. This is a 1/2 inch. Now I know it's 1/2 inch. I even marked it down here. That way things don't mixed up, and yeah, you can feel it and say, oh yeah, this one's a little different, but mark it. It only takes a sec. Keep some cheap disposable brushes. You never know. That's what this box is for. It's to save you a trip. If you've got space in your box, throw a couple of these in. Also carry a little bit of just thin gauge wire. It's good for if you got to tie something up or wrap around something to hold back, or even hang your brush while it's drying. more rollers, the small rollers. If you wear gloves, a pair of gloves, maybe some eye protection would be good. Thankfully, I don't have to work and paint too much on a ladder, but this doesn't take up any space, and I know I've got one in my box, and it's going to save time trying to find another one in the shop or out in the truck or something like that. Throw it in there. Same thing, paint sprayers, socks, things like that. So there you have it. And once again, this is what I take on every single job. When I use stuff up, I write myself a note, and next time I'm at the shop or out in the garage, I'll load it back up. Know what you have, know what you need, stay organized, and again, time is money. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped. So for more stuff, make sure to check out primerpodcast.com. You can toss us an email at primerpodcast@gmail.com and click that subscribe button, please. It helps us out.